The views expressed on this Turnbuckle Tabloid live stream or Turnbuckle Tabloid podcast episode do not reflect the views, thoughts, or opinions of the Rageworks brand, including the Rageworks podcast network, Rageworks content partners, advertisers, and affiliates. Viewer and listener discretion is advised.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. The listener. In case you haven't heard, because I've been basically saying it for the past few weeks, we just started a new network. Yeah, New York Wrestle Media. It's a whole virtual experience visually for all those connected in the world of wrestling, pop culture, live stream video games. Oh, it's happening. And it's not only me doing it. Yeah. Got a few cohorts who jumped in the mix, covering subject matters as history, indie wrestling, news of the day, pop culture, and like I mentioned, video games. I know, me too. I'm excited. Make sure you check us out on YouTube, Twitch, and on TikTok for New York Wrestle Media. Follow, subscribe, like, be a part of the vibe of all things connected with New York Wrestle Media.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff.
This is the good old jar, and you're listening to Turnbuckle Tabloid.
It's Wrestling Rundown with Jay Santy.
Live from New York, it's Turnbuckle Tabloid.
Wrestling Rundown, ladies and gentlemen, for the closing out of the year. 2024 has been it's been one of those, ladies and gentlemen. I gotta say that for the least. 2020. Every year I seem to come around and I say the same thing. Like, yeah, just when you thought you've seen enough, you ain't see shit yet.
No.
Man. But bringing in the tail end of 2024, we bring in our girl Arianna, not the Grande, from Histories and Headlocks from New York Wrestle Media. And girl, you're a strong woman. I'm telling you that, girl. I'll tell you this much. You carry the weight of everything, bro. I'm telling you, me, what you've been going through in the past couple of weeks, I probably would have folded like origami, but you holding strong, girl.
Trust me, I have folded many times when no one's watching.
Hey, listen, tomorrow's New Year's Eve. Take a nice little shot here, a little glass there, toast it to the ones we love, and then say to 2025, we gonna get it live.
Not only that, it's my birthday, so I gotta
That's right, girl. Hey,
I celebrate double.
Oh, see, to be 30 again.
I wouldn't mind being 30. I wouldn't mind being 33 again.
I told one of the hosts of third announcers table, I was like, because they're creeping up on 30. I said, 30 is the new 50, right? And he's like, what do you mean? I said, because you 30-year-olds believe that you've seen everything in life now. You're already like 50 years old. You guys are like senior citizens now.
Yep.
As I didn't even embark in life yet until I hit 30. Like I was just still having a good time by the time I got to 30.
Yeah.
That's what adulthood hit, reality.
Yeah.
But speaking of which, I'm your host, Norm McDonald of this segment, and this is your Wrestling Rundowns Weekend Update. And speaking of life, congratulations, Big Bill and his new wife. You know, this is why I have young ladies on the show, because you guys are part of stuff like this. You hear stuff, finding love, especially in wrestling. Big Bill and Lacey Nair getting married. You think it's fun? I think it's. I mean, have you ever really found someone at work?
Yeah, but nothing serious.
Right.
It was never anything serious. It was always like, all right, we can have fun, hang out, whatever.
Yeah.
But I guess in the wrestling business, when you're traveling so many days out of the week together, or I mean, even in their case, they only travel once or twice a week, but they're on the road together and they're working together, and then just form a bond with these people, with one another. And I can see how they all fall in love. It's like wrestling's become like a dating show.
Yeah, seriously, and especially when it comes to I don't know, you're with them every day. You're hitting the road. You're going from town to town. You're eating at the worst places, at fast food joints and Waffle Houses, whatever, every day. Yeah, you get the whole bonding thing going on. Right. We also had another announcement. Wasn't it? What's his name from NXT? Arianna. Well, Arianna,
yeah.
And yeah, she's also hooked up. That's what I'm saying. Like it's just in the air with these people.
I know. It's like every other minute you find out, oh, they're dating, oh, they're engaged, oh, they got married. Like, wow, they're just one big happy family.
Everybody wants to be Seth and Becky. Oh.
Or Montez and Bianca.
Yeah, and I'm over here fucking looking at Facebook dating going, ugh.
Oh my, I think I downloaded it or whatever, activated it, and within 5 minutes I had like 30 messages, and I said, nah, I'm good. Deactivate.
That's not fair. You see, women get it much more of more accessibility, because you get the hey, but at the same time you also get the hey.
That's mostly what we're getting is hey, or they're scam artists that live in Nigeria, posing as a military soldier that's stationed off in Alaska or something.
or the prince that wants to send you money.
But you have to send the money first before you get the money back, and then you never see the money.
The best one I've seen so far is for rejection is from that TV show or the YouTube show where it's a dating game and women and men are lined up and they have balloons in their hands.
Oh yeah, that's horrible.
And once they say something, they'll pop the balloon. Well, now if someone slides in a DM, the whole emojis now is a balloon and a pin.
I didn't know that. That's hilarious. I'm gonna start doing that when some creep tries to hit me up.
Yeah, they'll immediately get the message. Believe me, they'll get it in.
Yeah. Oh my god, that is I laugh at that.
Next up, the Ray Phoenix thing. Like, what? I understand is it pettiness? I don't know. We can say yes or no, but the accusations that are going back and forth seems as though that Ray isn't happy. He has some feelings that he said he will release soon enough down the line about his tenure with AEW. AEW, they themselves seem to have some issues as well. What's your thoughts about what's really happening here?
Oh, it's just so weird. He deleted everything that he posted. Everything's gone. So,
right.
It just almost feels like, where's this coming from? Because it felt like the Lucha Bros were getting a lot of exposure. They had title reigns. They were on TV a lot of times. I mean, obviously, Bray was injured for at the time, so he didn't get to be on TV as much as his brother was. But it just comes off very weird how suddenly it's like he has animosity towards them. Like,
Right.
they paid you while you were home for a whole year. You know,
Yeah,
it's
know.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's messy. I think that maybe somebody's in his ear telling him to do certain things so that they can fire him, and it's backfiring.
Yeah, I was thinking.
Wasn't he supposed to be at HOG? Remember?
He was. He was supposed to do the signing. He was supposed to be doing signings that day.
No sign of him anywhere.
Yeah, I was shocked because usually you guys get your picks, and I didn't see any postings there.
Yeah. Very odd. Only the parties, I think, were there.
Right.
Very odd. It's messy. And
next up, did you hear about this whole new show that A&E is going to be producing with WWE? No. The Futures and Legends show?
Oh, I saw a brief blurb about it, but I don't know the details.
So apparently it's gonna be like Tough Enough. Mm-hmm. And yeah, what they're gonna do is they're matching up the up and coming stars, I guess the NILs, to I guess legends, and they'll be pairing them up. Seems as though that one wrestler that was already announced to be on the card is Mark Henry's son, which you said you've seen him already.
He's a tank,
right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is another venture in which WWE is diving into. I kind of missed the Tough Enough series, though. I did miss seeing that, though.
The original one,
right?
Yeah.
There was something about that kind of I don't know. I mean, when later on came out, I think Hogan killed it. When he got involved, he kind of killed it.
Yikes!
But yeah, there was something about seeing certain wrestlers, especially the ones that we knew from the indies that were trying to crack. I kind of missed that. I'm hoping that they'll be able to do that again. It looks as though that they're opening their wings for that.
Yeah, I mean that's actually a pretty cool concept. You know,
yeah,
kind of have a mentor and student, role there, and it's like each student can have a focused mentor, so it's one-on-one instead of like one guy, a whole group of them,
right? And
you can see how differently each mentor can approach their training and their guidance with them. Yeah, I like that idea.
Yeah, it's kind of the original NXT meets Tough Enough, like that kind of thing. Yeah, so I'm interested to see how that goes through.
I'd watch that.
Next up, this whole GCW AEW beef that's going on. We heard recently that Ricky Starks was blocked from the GCW show. We heard about the lobs in which Effie was talking to, which, by the way, I had said that I was like, does Effie really represent GCW? I understand that he's there.
Pretty tough. He's pretty one of the top guys, yeah.
Yeah, but I also believe that isn't that like an independent thought, whatever the case may be. But now there was also talks that Willie Mack was blocked for the upcoming GCW shows and such. Is it a work?
I think so. And they're all sitting around saying, "No, it's not. It's not." I think it is. It's just everything's fallen into place a little too neatly for me for it to not be work.
Right.
You had Effie talking crap, and you had a couple of guys pulled. I mean, when I went to that GCW show a few weeks ago, Ali Catch was in the ring talking smack about Effie, talking smack about AEW in the ring, right? And then you also had Mance Warner did an interview with Fightful where he basically said that Effie needed to shut the fuck up and focus on GCW and not anybody else.
Right.
And it just felt a little worky the way he was talking. He was in full character the whole time. And then, Jericho pops up in the GCW show in LA during the Cardona Effie match and interfered, like right before he wrestled Cardona at the Ring of Honor pay-per-view. So to me, it's all a little worky. It could have started off as a shoot. Now it turned a shoot into a work.
I like it. I'm always into that. I'm a fan of that.
It's true, because let me tell you something. If at this GCW show coming up in a couple of weeks, if you see some AEW people pop up, then we'll know.
Yeah, we'll see. Especially in like an invasion angle kind of thing. Oh yeah, I'm a fan of that.
And Ricky just popped up in Defy, and I think in the UK, and Defy and GCW work together a lot.
Right.
Do a lot of co-shows. So
yeah, I am like I said, I like when especially those shows are open to letting their talent go somewhere else. Ricky Starks is a different story though. Like I believe that there's a lot more underneath the surface that people aren't really saying too much.
Yeah.
But I think somebody just got some hurt feelings on that side, but that's on another day's conversation. Speaking of AEW, JR, since we just came off of At World's End, JR mentioned that there might be a lot too many matches on pay-per-views in AEW side when it comes to on their pay-per-views. Too many matches on the card.
I mean, this pay-per-view was much shorter.
Yeah, I think it was about like 20 minutes.
Yeah, they had 8 matches instead of 13, 14. And it worked out. I mean, it did save a half an hour on the show. And it had a little more time to do some backstage segments here and there during the show, too. So, yeah, I think 8... Sorry, but I think 8 is a nice happy medium.
Yeah, I think so. We've seen on the other side with WWE has like minimized theirs to like 5.
Too little.
And then when they get their bigger shows, they wrap it up to maybe like 7 or something like that.
Yeah,
but
I think 5 is too little.
Yeah, it kind of cuts off storylines at the legs a little bit. It kind of I can see the benefits of it because it makes it drag a little bit, but also at the same time, a lot of talent aren't getting their eyes on them for the big show.
They're not getting the pay-per-view PLE time, and also like the stuff in between each match, just too much ads and vignettes and promos, and they lose me. They will start to lose me in between their matches with that stuff. You know?
Yeah, I don't see. I get it when there's substance to the card. You know, there's a lot of times where you're just throwing stuff together and you're like, hey, let's just load up the deck because we want to get everybody paid or everybody on the card. But you know, at the same time, it could be draining, especially when you're there and because you've been to these shows. I've been to a couple of them as well. Yeah, they know. They run you ragged.
You gotta drink a cup of coffee before you get there, you know?
Yeah.
But I wonder if JR is saying it only because these days he only comes out for like the last match or two. So he's probably like, it's past my bedtime.
Right. And he's only coming out for like maybe 2 matches.
Yeah, at the very end. And it's by that point, it's 11 o'clock. And he's probably like, I'm so tired.
That's all right. He'll go back he'll go to his hotel room and smoke a little. You know what? Allegedly.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Next up, speaking of I forgot to mention this earlier with the Legends show. Jeremy Borash is involved with it as well, and he's back. He's doing commentary for that show as well. Underrated commentators for wrestling in the past years.
I did enjoy him in the early days of TNA. And I always wondered, like, why was he never picked up sooner at WWE back in the day?
No.
You know, and then, I mean, I don't know if he was working, if he still continued working in the wrestling business in other capacities. I'm not too familiar with his background after he stopped working with TNA, but yeah, I was very surprised.
Yeah, I learned later on that Jerry Borash is very much in tune and very much hands-on creatively with TNA back then. And they brought him on board to WWE. And if you look now in booking and creative wise, who's alongside them, and a large part of them are former TNA talent. You know, you got, the man formerly known as Abyss that's back there. You got Jabari. You had Bobby Roode now. You got a lot of TNA minds are back there, and it was a smart pickup by WWE to do that.
Absolutely,
and to get Jeremy Borash now back in front of the camera and behind the headset is actually a smart move.
Yeah, I do. I absolutely. Listen, if anybody's gonna get picked up from back in the day, I think he's one of them. Like, I hate to say it, when AEW picked up Kevin Kelly, I'm like, why?
Yeah, I enjoyed him years ago in the early days and mid run and on ROH. Like I liked that time. Yeah, I was a fan of him, but then you hear now, like how little bit more involved than he should be. It kind of gets clouded on what you remember of him. I've always liked Ian Riccaboni as well. I do like Ian Riccaboni. I like
fantastic.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of him. Of how he transitioned over, but yeah, it's good to see like that refreshing look of the TNA talent being able to be used in WWE. Speaking of old WWE talents or new talent, Athena, 2 years as the Ring of Honor Women's Champion.
Yeah, she is no stopping her either. I thought she was going to lose it. I thought Billy was going to take it.
Yeah, I thought they actually was ready to use that platform for her to go, but no, not yet. Oh,
yeah, but they probably still wanted her to be champion going into Stardom right now,
right?
And then doing the Dynasty Women's Tournament.
Mm-hmm.
They probably wanted her to keep having the belt next to her to show that she's a champion and that she's worthy of being in the tournament.
Yeah. Very, very. I'm very proud of her because I've always liked her. I loved her when she was in WWE. When she was Ember Moon, I believe when she got to AEW, she had a bit of a wonky start. It was a kind of like trial by basis, match by match kind of thing. But once that she got her groove and got her fitting in for the ROH promotion, she actually went in there and went in and running. She's been staying healthy for the past few months now, and she looks great. She looks like a star.
Yeah, she does. She's trimmed down a little bit weight wise. She's been working out in the gym a lot. You can see the transformation in her physique and her personality. That snotty little brat personality that her character has is fantastic. Yeah, right. She's great, and I'm waiting for her to be leveled back up to AEW. I am waiting. I don't know what's going on. What are they waiting for?
Yeah, they need to do something up that way because we'll get to that later on down the line because. Yeah. That women's division is a little helter-skelter on that side. Speaking of women's division, seems as though that TNA has let bygones be bygones and has re-signed Tessa Blanchard. Power move by TNA, knowing that Jordan Grace will be out the door soon.
Right. Yeah. They need the powerhouse woman there now.
Yeah, I've always said that. How long can you punish somebody? I get it. Some certain things people say is like you don't want to see them again, or any actions that they've done. You'd be like, bye, let's go. Yeah. But some of these allegations were never really justified, or they were just alleged. And she's made her round saying, "Hey, listen, that was a different time." Blah blah blah. The case may be. So TNA said, "All right, we'll give you this." Still some belief that she can still stir the pot, but as of right now, so far, she's being embraced.
Right. I mean, I know that she and Rosa Negra, I believe they hashed things out. Mm-hmm. They spoke about that incident that happened between them, and there was from what I understand, there was an apology and there was an acceptance of that apology, and it was made public on social media as well between the two of them. And I think, like you said, she was punished enough. She was kind of blackballed there for a little bit, and just give her a chance to show that she has changed if she really needed to change. I mean, like my brother told me, there's been other people who have done a hell of a lot worse in the business, and they've been giving chance after chance. So why can't she?
Yeah. Yeah. I felt that way as well. Let's see how it goes from here on out. Yeah, speaking of staying with TNA, with her signing, we also saw some goodbyes. Looks like Trent Seven is gone, as well as Rhino. Rhino, see you at House of Glory.
Yeah, definitely can't wait. Can't wait. I love Rhino. One of my favorites.
Yeah, there's been some I guess there has been some controversy and some rumblings going on with TNA. They've been on such a good ride the past year or so, but now the tensions with still lingering with Scott D'Amore being gone, and now this talk from the roster saying that some of their monies has been short. It doesn't look good. So It's almost as though that many of the OGs or those who are who've come in with newer contracts have figured, they said, you know what, I could go somewhere else, which is unfortunate. But at the same time, TNA has also found a home in Canada where they found a new network up there in Canada. Good for them, because we still can't find shit.
Yeah, they need to. You got to work on getting a better TV deal here in the States. Not everybody has this. I have Access TV, but I know people who want to watch TNA and they don't have it.
Right.
You know, and they really want to watch it because a lot of their favorite indie wrestlers or former WWE, AEW wrestlers are on it, and they're like, I can't even watch it. I don't even bother following up with it because what's the point? You know?
Yeah. But then, of course, just like everything else, but you can pay for the streaming app.
Yeah, but
shit for me to pay for.
Like, exactly. Like, I borrow my brother's streaming because he has it, because he likes TNA, and it's like, they really need to focus on that. Yeah, and especially if they are having money problems, which I have seen people talking about that. And I wondered if that was the case when Bay got hurt recently,
right?
And they had opened a GoFundMe to cover his medical bills or cover his life expenses, because TNA could only cover his medical bills, and they can't keep paying him like WWE would be able to pay or AEW would be able to pay a full salary while people are out injured. And that broke my heart, Yeah,
I know there's certain individuals in the IWC who believe that WWE is going to probably end up buying them out or being some kind of subordinate for them, like, or an investor. Like, there was like secret talks, years ago with WWE and ECW and such like that.
Yeah.
It's wishful thinking. I would think more along the lines that if it does happen that way, it'll just be a straight up buyout and just take it over. But they do need something. They need Access, because TNA is owned by Access, the company.
The company, right?
Yeah. And I don't know. The only thing that you pretty much see on Access TV is old concerts.
Right. Old concerts and musician interviews and whatnot.
Right.
Yeah. But like in terms of WWE buying them out, I mean, yeah, that'd be smart financially, but like you said, they'll probably just get absorbed like they did with WCW and ECW eventually.
Yeah.
Would they even bother keeping them around because they didn't have Raw, SmackDown, and NXT already?
But you always got to fill a slot somewhere. So you got to get, maybe a Thursday night will be still held on for TNA. Yeah, but they'll be going head to head with some. You got the NBA, you got football. It's not that easy on Thursdays.
No, it's not.
That's why WWE has like shied away from being a
Thursday show,
be a network of programming on there. We also get a re-signing. We talk about people leaving. We get a re-signing. Dustin Runnels has said that he's going to stay with AEW. I know a lot of people were believing that he was going to go jump ship and join his brother, but he said, nope, I'm good.
Yeah, because remember a few weeks ago, he put out a thank you tweet, thanking the fans for and everybody's like, oh, he's gone. He's gone. That's it. His contract ended. He's gone. Meanwhile, I'm like, no, he's not. He never said he's leaving. Dustin isn't the kind of person that would not straight up say, I'm leaving, because he's always very transparent on his social media posts. And he's still got those title belts in Ring of Honor, so he's not going anywhere.
I think he'll be fine.
And he's fine because, like, he I'm sure working in AEW, he does a lot backstage, which he's at that point of his career where he could still go without a doubt. Nobody could deny the man could still go in the ring. He looks better than ever, but his true calling, I think, at this point is teaching.
Right. He's a trainer. He's a lead trainer as well at Monster Factory. So
yeah,
which it's connected with WWE with that whole ID thing, huh?
Ah, right. That too.
So when Goldust is ready to be welcome and inducted into the Hall of Fame, Goldust will be there.
Of course.
Yeah. So ain't nobody worrying about if it'll happen. It's when it'll happen.
Absolutely.
Speaking of AEW, it seems as though that Fox is no longer interested in a show. There's been talks of saying that Fox was going to take in the Shockwave TV show, which was probably going to be the replacement for Rampage, or it would be a recap show per se.
Right.
But it looks like the discussion saying that Fox is not interested due to the lagging ratings in AEW. Next week starts AEW on Max. It'll be co-streaming with the TBS show. Gonna be interesting to see how this plays out. Do you? I mean, I don't know. I'm not a statistician, but I don't know how many people have Max. And I don't know how many people care to watch AEW on Max. The only reason why you probably would is because you missed it that night. You can watch it later on.
Right, you could do that. I mean, there are some people who are streaming only and don't have access to the cable channels.
Right.
You know, if they don't have like an app that streams them, like I have Sling TV, so I can access the cable channels. But honestly, like the only thing I really watch on TV is wrestling. And now they're both going to streaming, so I might as well cancel Sling and just watch it on Max and watch WWE over there on Netflix.
You know, you mentioned that, and it's a pain in the ass for me because I have files in my house, and I only have the cable boxes for my mother who needs it, because for us everything else is just streaming, and the pain in the ass with that as well is that files. Sling has its own thing. Spectrum has its own app. Everybody has their app. Files, no, doesn't have its own app. You can't stream it on a Fire Stick or a Chromecast. Nothing. No. Assholes. Files, you're fucking assholes.
You think, come on, Verizon, you got mad money.
They want you to invest in a streaming box, and that's like another 200 something.
No way.
No, we're not doing it. It's all right.
No.
I find my ways.
Exactly.
Wink, wink.
Absolutely.
Speaking of assholes, WWE seems as though that they're canceling and ending their partnership with the Susan G. Komen Association, which was the foundation that deals with breast cancer and such. This is something that we saw every year with the promotion. So much so that we will see the pink rings and pink armbands and such by the wrestlers. But yeah, it seems as though that Susan G. Komen wasn't a charitable organization. It seemed as though there was some real dirty business going on behind the scenes for many, many years.
Wow.
And people were about it. Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So it seems as though that their relationship is done. Also, mentioned as well, WWE has ended their relationship with the tribute to the troops as well.
Yes.
We didn't see that this year as well, which is a shame. That I'm not a fan of. I believe that they should still be a part of that. Although they're maybe it's because it's not wartime now. So
yeah, I mean, what is going on in the world is very controversial, so they probably don't want to have any kind of connection to that.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. It's not wartime for the States, but everywhere else is just being problematic. There's
still troops out there. There's still troops involved. Whether we know about it, they're involved.
Mm-hmm.
They're involved. They just don't want that stink on them.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I look forward to because I know that shout out to our troops, shout out to our vets out there. Thank you for your service and thank you for putting your lives out there. I know it's one thing that they always enjoy. You notice that a lot of these guys are very much invested in wrestling, and even if they're not, they just appreciate the fact that somebody comes out there to look out and to show love to them.
They're so isolated wherever they're at, you know.
Yeah. One more before we kick it off. I did not know who this person was, but it's unfortunate that he passed away recently. Jax Dane. Do you know the NWA champ who he was?
I caught a few episodes of NWA, in the recent past, and I did see him pop up from time to time, but but I wasn't super familiar with him. But when I saw his photo, I said, "Oh, damn! I remember seeing him, in a couple of matches." He was a,
fairly young man. This is unfortunately
in his 40s only, and to have a heart attack so young.
Yeah.
Very, very sad. During this time of year too. Ugh.
That's why I'm on my checkups every 6 months, and I'm on my meds.
Absolutely, you and me both, man.
This is not a sprint, baby. This is a marathon. This is long. I'm not playing. And for the main event, my soundboard is all messed up because I was doing some stuff recently, trying to clear up some space on the computer and stuff like that, and now it's like, I can't even. I have to reinstall everything. So, but in any case, WWE jumping to Netflix starting next week. Tonight will be, as of this recording, today is Monday. Tonight will be the last Raw on USA Network. Thank you for the 20. Was it what they said? It was like 23 years or something. No, not 23. Sorry, almost 30 years.
Yeah, I mean, Raw's been on the air over 30 years now.
30 years.
30 years exactly. And then before that, they had primetime wrestling.
Right.
So they've been on the air since the 80s, I think.
And shout out to you guys at History and Headlocks. You guys did your history of the golden age of WWF. You guys probably gonna have to run that back and do a part 2 of that because
that's so much that we have to touch on. Yeah, absolutely.
It made me go down the rabbit hole. I started watching I believe it's What Culture. They did their Cultaholics. They did a 4-part series on that, and I was like, Jesus Christ! I felt like I was 9, 10, 11 years old going through that again. I was like, shit.
Oh man, those were the good old days. It's our childhood.
Yeah, so now, when in the good old days of being at the Manhattan Center watching Raw and the big letters at the rampway.
Yeah.
Was it Sabu? Was it Sabu?
Yeah.
Off of it?
He tossed himself, yeah. Nobody thought he was gonna do it. He did it.
Yeah, so this closes out the partnership with the USA and Raw, but that's all right because SmackDown will be there on Fridays, and apparently SmackDown will be going 3 hours. There's already discussion of that happening. They don't want to lose that network, those ratings. They don't want to lose that audience. They're gonna keep it there. I think it's a little bit. Maybe it works out a little bit better because now the SmackDown roster opens up a little bit more.
Maybe that's true.
They'll open up there. But even still, they're talking about transfer portals, also known as trades, shaking it up a little bit. There needs to be something going on. There's already discussions that the Bloodline may be making their way to Raw.
Right.
Alpha Academy might be making their way to SmackDown.
They need that.
Yeah. I mean, especially with the whole world title situation happening in SmackDown. Did the Bloodline run its course on SmackDown?
No, probably, yeah. It's kind of become a shell of his former self, Yeah.
They need to do something else on that side. Bring more eyes to us. Who needs it more though? Does Netflix need it more, or does SmackDown on USA need it more?
I would say SmackDown would need it more. Because if they're gonna start losing people like the Bloodline, they need some kind of equivalent big name to go on their end, Because I'll be honest with you, I don't find SmackDown compelling. I don't find myself watching it every week. I don't watch it. Period. I'll just catch the highlights on YouTube because sitting through an episode of SmackDown for me is a little painful. But that's why I'm like 3 hours could be it could either be good for them because you'll see more faces getting exposure, or it'll be even more painful to watch.
Right.
So yeah, if they're going to do these trades, they have to give SmackDown some solid names. And Alpha Academy is a good start because they need to get the hell away from. I mean, not Alpha Academy, but the American Made. They need to get away from Alpha Academy because they're going to be stuck in a forever feud with these guys. No offense to them. It's just I'm tired of seeing them wrestle Otis and enough.
Yeah, I think what's going on, especially with American Made, they need to see the likes of a Motor City Machine Guns that over there.
Yes.
they need to see a little bit more. And me being a tag team guy, I need to see more formations of tag teams that make sense, have the chemistry, that show that fair and balanced tandem that works.
Agreed.
I was looking at there was a video from What Culture where they ran down in the 90s how it became like a whole faction thing. Everything was a faction. I don't think we need that now. I think we just need a little bit more tag teams. We need a little bit something in that mix.
I agree. I'm like you. I'm a big tag team fan. There's something about those two guys as a cohesive unit that cannot work without the other. That just draws me in.
Yeah, I am. I'm looking forward to that. I'm also looking forward to the buffering that's going to happen on Netflix.
Oh God! At least for the first couple of weeks while they work out those kinks.
I don't see that it's going to be as bad as it was. Everybody's comparing it to the Tyson Paul fight. I don't think it's going to be that. They had 60 million viewers.
Yeah, everybody was watching. I was out of town, but if I would have watched it, I would have watched it too, just to see the hot mess that was going to occur.
Yeah, it's one of those things to where they're hoping that they could get the kinks out. Remember when Peacock first kicked off? Hell, when the network first kicked off, I remember day one I had it. I was like locked in, and even me trying to watch an old school Royal Rumble, it was a pain in the ass to get until finally they worked it through.
Yeah. No, and I remember those Peacock because I got Peacock immediately because it has a lot of shows that I watch, and some of the shows that I watch on NBC actually became streaming only. So, yeah, there's some moments in the beginning where they would just get stuck. The shows would just get stuck and would not play, and I'm like, come on, man. Or the ads, because I don't have the ads free. It would start up in a very random part of the episode instead of like where a commercial would have started if it was still on TV. And then when it would come back to the show, you missed that whole span of that scene because of the ad. And you're like, they can't do that. Well,
they've already talked about on Netflix that they will be having ads. They'll be running, commercials will be there.
Ads are, I've noticed too on Netflix, the ads do that. They'll cut off in a very weird spot. And like, they can't do that because that could cut off during a very pivotal moment in a wrestling match or a promo and people could miss it.
Yeah, I'm a wonder to see because we were discussing yesterday about the whole sound that happens like on Netflix and all that.
Oh yeah, I gotta look into that little.
Netflix is going to catch the wrestlers talking to each other to the turnbuckle.
Shit. Whip me across the ring.
To the outside tope. Especially with Cena. Cena is like,
what you say?
Cena is way too loud. You see it in the subtitles. You see everything what Cena says in the ring.
I know.
The Botchamanias, you talk too much.
I love Botchamania.
I think there needs to be some kind of fluidity when it comes to this transfer portal. There's some individuals that I don't want to see move over. Like I want Randy to stay on SmackDown. I want Drew to stay on Raw. I want to see that there. I'm trying to see, and I believe Mike did. He did a mock himself, or who's going to go across the board.
Right, he did.
But there needs to be certain shakeups. Like for me, I wouldn't even bat an eye if New Day went to SmackDown.
Right.
Like I would be comfortable to seeing that. Any interesting porter transfers that you will see happen?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing Priest get transferred over to SmackDown. I think there's a lot of fresh bodies there because he could have a program with Randy Orton and Kevin Owens, even running back with Cody a little bit. Even hey man, I don't know if they don't move the Roman bloodline over there, if Roman stays on SmackDown for some reason, you can see that too. Because I feel like after he lost the belt, he's kind of in like a little purgatory right now, stuck having this forever feud with Judgment Day, and I'm gonna get this poor man out of this already. Yeah. At least right now they have him kind of teaming up with the War
Raiders.
War Raiders, thank you. And I see they've kind of started changing their look to more of a biker look.
Right.
So their aesthetic is kind of fitting a little bit now. So
my old school my old school War Machine Ring of Honor tag team.
Mm-hmm. And they even touched base on that. I saw in the backstage promo where they talked about knowing what it was to work with Honor.
Oh, look at that! Yeah, we have to do some research. I wonder if they tagged up before back in Ring of Honor back then. We have to look that up.
Like a trios match.
Yeah. I wouldn't be upset also if I saw Judgment Day move.
Yeah. If they keep Priest on Raw, then move over Judgment Day. Get them away from each other.
Yeah, because there has been some rumblings to say that Finn is actually going to get a big push come 2025. Well deserved. He's been waiting in the wings for quite some time, and he's not getting any younger. I think it'll be a smart look to get them on that side. Once again, if they're going to lose one faction, they're going to need to pick one up on the other side.
Right.
Wouldn't be surprised to see that happening there.
Yeah.
On the women's side, do you see anybody lofting back and forth?
The women's side, I don't see Rhea moving. She's the face of Raw right now, so she's not going anywhere. I mean, if they do the Judgment Day, obviously Liv and Raquel will go. I don't mind them going. Who else? Maybe the Fusion Collective can go. Zoe, Shayna, and Deville. Because I mean, they're not really doing much on Raw right now.
Which, by the way, that Shayna video with Naomi's wig,
she looked cute.
She looked miserable, but she
did. She looked miserable, but like I was like, at first I'm like, who is that? I can't recognize who that is, and I'm like, Shayna. Shayna, look at you. She looked cute.
Right, girl. Work it out, girl. Work it out. I would not be opposed to see Bayley make a jump to Raw. I think that'll be a good jump. Does Jordan get an automatic call up?
I hope so. I don't think she needs to go to NXT for anything. You know, her promo work is good. Her in-ring work is fantastic. Her look is phenomenal. What do they need to like polish up? Nothing.
Yeah, I think she's main event ready. I think that holding her NXT doesn't do much for her. They already got their own stuff going on down there with the women.
Right.
You know, you got Julia down there, you got Stephanie McCoy down there, you got Roxanne. You guys are fine. You don't need anything. I know anybody else stirring it up over there.
No. I think she's needed in one of those rosters up there.
Yeah. I think that she fills a great role up there. Also, there's a teaser. Is Penta showing up on Raw?
Probably. I know I've heard about the little zero with the cross out.
Right.
You know. So he'll probably pop up on Raw. I just hope they don't stick him with LWO or the other guys. They're still the Fantasmas are on Raw or SmackDown?
They're on SmackDown.
All right. So I just hope they don't do that to him.
I was thinking the same thing. The only thing that I would say is, shit, if they could get him a mouthpiece, or if anything, probably I don't know, for some reason I believe that maybe Andrade they'll probably like have him next to or something like that.
But they still like Andrade. I know more than anybody.
Yeah,
because that's my concern is. Like they're gonna be another token Latino Mexican wrestler sticking with everybody else,
right?
You know?
Right.
And it's like, I'm rocking the LWO right now in my own way, but it's like, come on, man, like we gotta stop doing this. Stop holding everybody just because they're all Latino. Come on.
Yeah. You know, the strength for numbers, but at the same time, not really.
Like, I know. Like he doesn't need that.
That's why I'm happy that Carlito's with Judgment Day. I'm like, at least he's not in the typical shit.
Exactly. You know, exactly. Because if they put him in there, the mouthpiece is going to be Ray. And I'll be honest with you, I can't stand listening to Ray on the mic. I don't, because it's like Dora the Explorer. He says it in Spanish and then he says it in English. Like you're speaking Spanish to people that don't even speak Spanish. Like he did to New Day the other day. And I'm like, they don't even speak Spanish. Why are you even saying it in Spanish? Just speak English to them.
Órale, hermanos.
Oh my
Nobody
God.
likes you, the dogs.
Cállate quiere aquí. Like, who? Stop.
No, stop, because Damien does the same thing. Stop.
But you know what? He does the Ricky Ricardo where he'll be like, Coño carajo. He's not saying a full sentence in Spanish and then repeating it in English so that,
He does
the
phrase,
non-Spanish. He's not doing the Dora the Explorer. Like, no. He does it in a very funny way.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see how this is gonna go. We need a shake up. We need to see how this is gonna be put together for Netflix debuting on January 6th on Raw, and how it's gonna open up the floodgates for SmackDown, possibly or officially going 3 hours. So yeah, we need to see something going on there. We're gonna close it out here with Wrestling Rundown, guys. Thanks for checking in. And much more on the table. We're going to be discussing what happened at World's End for cutting a promo. We're going to switch it up this week. We're going to be doing a little stuff, a little backwards. Usually I put Wrestling Rundown towards the end, but new year, new us. Okay.
You gotta shut up a bit,
All right, guys. So don't go anywhere. Stick around. Much to talk to you guys. See you guys in a sec. It's your boy Jada Red Santy, your host of Turnbuckle Tabloid, here to say thank you to you, the listener, for being a part of the 7 years of wrestling, babble, and all things ridiculous here at Turnbuckle Tabloid. The podcast has been here doing it big for so many years, and we appreciate every person who's subscribed and listened to the podcast each and every year. But I got something else for you guys. Yeah, we've been doing it up different this time of year. Starting to expand our wings a little bit more. We're hitting up the YouTubes, hitting up the Twitch, hitting up the TikToks. Yeah, boy, hitting up the IGs as well. We're doing live streams there, and I want you guys to be a part of it as well. It's going to be exclusive content there. So what you don't get on the podcast, you'll get on the live streams. So it'll be great if you guys like, subscribe, began following all those social media websites for Turnbuckle Tabloid, and believe me, you will not miss a thing. Catch us there.
What's up, guys? This is Pete Corvus, and you're listening to Turnbuckle Tabloid.
Give me that fucking mic! Turnbuckle Tabloid, cutting a promo.
Pay-per-view is done. It's in the wraps. I'm over here sweltering because someone decides that they want to make the Spanish tradition known as Sancocho for New Year's. I guess it's a tradition, right? In Spanish people households, you got to ring it in for the New Year.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Any New Year's traditions that you know of that you guys have?
Definitely a Sancocho is a tradition. In Haiti, they do the same thing too,
with
their own version of Sancocho for the New Year. Yeah, that's basically it.
My grandmother would hold grapes in her hand or something like that. Or have grapes
you eat the grapes at the end. Yeah, I know that a lot of Latinos traditions do that, but I think it's more South and Central American that kind of follow that, because we went to a Mexican restaurant last year to celebrate, and they gave everybody a little bag of grapes for us to, like, you eat it and you make a wish for the new year with each one that you pop into your mouth.
That was the other one. Have a couple of dollars in your pocket so you don't go into the new year broke.
Right. Or the one I sent yesterday where, like, make sure you take a poop before the new year so that you don't go in with the same shit from last year.
Done and done. Believe me, that'll definitely be that. But other than that, like, it's what New Year's traditions you guys have? Like, there's people always have some weird shit in their cultures and stuff.
For me, it's like sitting around your sala,
just waiting for the ball to drop. Watching bad fucking music from previous years is like Jefferson Starship or like
God
or Earth, Wind and Fire ringing the new year.
I love Earth, Wind and Fire. I love them.
Like, fine, but not for 2025. You can watch that at Atlantic City when you're on the slots.
I would love to see them in Atlantic City.
But at World's End, because it's to me, I took that as my form of Earth, Wind and Fire early on, thinking about it, because AEW for me has been hot and cold recently, but I actually came to the realization of what I need to start. I need to start looking at AEW as, especially when it comes to the pay-per-views. I don't need to care about stories with them anymore because they don't care either. It's not their thing. And just watch the show for what it is and just watch matches. And I've come to the realization with that.
Yeah. That's my approach with them. Like, they have their storylines fine. They're not the most compelling, but they finish off these stories in the ring. And that's where it becomes compelling. Because they pull off these amazing matches half the time. So
yeah, I'm not gonna go too much into the 0 hour. The only thing I have to say for the 0 hour is Toni Storm and her reemergence, her debut at AEW. Wink, wink, elbow, elbow.
Right.
I give it to her, and I commend her. She is committed. She lives the gimmick. She works it. I fucks with her heavy. I just was like, babe, you didn't come in as Tony as Timeless. You came in as Toni Storm. We all know this. Like, you came in as Toni Storm. Right. If you came in as Timeless, it's different. But I get it.
Then she's kind of, whatever mental issues she's having, whatever multiple personalities she's having, is like she reverted back to like the very beginning of her AEW start. But you saw, I don't know if you even got to watch some of the 0 hour matches. I didn't catch this while it was going on because I kind of was like, keeping busy with other things. But during her match with Layla Gray, she did a couple of the Timeless Toni Storm hand.
Yeah.
Maneuvers that she would do and kind of like would catch herself.
Right.
So it's like Timeless is trying to re-emerge from her.
It's gonna fight its way out.
Personality.
But she's, like I said, she's great in the ring. Thank you, New York. I need the sound of sirens in the background.
I never know who's is who.
Exactly. Since we both here. Also, we get a Jeff Jarrett match, which, by the way, shout out to him, man. The man still fucking can go. The man can still work.
Oh yeah, it's great.
We're gonna find out what happens down the line with him because he's gonna make an announcement about his future and such on upcoming Dynamite. Which, by the way, once again, people, is going to be simulcast on not only on TBS but also on Max. So keep an eye out for that. But just to kick off the show itself, we get Ospreay versus Kyle Fletcher for the Continental Classic semifinal. Was it built up to what you expected to be?
Oh yeah. I think with these two guys being so close in real life, they're practically like big brother, little brother. They can put on magic in that ring. Their match at the previous pay-per-view was killer, literally. And this one, it was just as good. It was just as good.
If there's something to be said about false finishes, this is the match that did it. This was the one that did it. Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, this was like exactly the whole show. But this was the curtain jerker that showed it off.
Man, the fact that they opened the show with it, I was like, what? But I get it.
Yeah. Finishers be damned. That's what happened here.
Woo, it was crazy. And let me tell you, man, Kyle as a heel, this is what he needed.
Yeah.
He's so good at it.
Yeah, you need that fresh coat of paint. Although everybody's calling him the Temu Randy Orton, it's fine.
I mean, they have similar size and build from when Randy was young. Can't help it. But he's great at it. He's great at being a little cocksucker.
Yeah, and like I said, especially because it's funny because we're so used to seeing Ospreay be the dastardly heel. Now to see him be the smiling bruv of everyone. It's not to say that I'm fully sold on it still, but I get it. I see where they're going with it with him, and it's working.
It's hard. I think it's at this point in his career, it's hard to keep him heel because everyone loves him.
Right.
He comes up to these huge pops, and it's like, how can you not embrace that part? You have to work with it.
Yeah. After a few sling blades and hidden blades and blades of steel, whatever they were throwing each other. The match finishes with a Styles Clash.
Styles Clash, yeah.
Wow.
I was like, okay,
Nice.
yeah. I thought he was gonna go for the Tiger Driver.
He did. I believe he did tease it, but
He did
it
tease
was.
it, but it just didn't work out right.
Yeah, we after 16 minutes, we get a win by Will Ospreay with a Styles Clash. Next up, we get for the Continental Classic, we get Okada versus Ricochet. Richard O'Shea.
Trevor, as Swerve's been calling him now.
Is Ricochet finally falling into place with his position within the company, especially with the fans?
After this match, yes, I think so. Because his villain story started at the end of the match.
Yeah, I think he needed that a new coat of paint. I think he needs that.
He did, because in WWE he had nothing. He was just a guy that could fly in the ring. That's it. That's all he had. He didn't have a personality. He didn't have a gimmick. He was just Ricochet. He could bounce around the ropes really fast. That's why we call him Ricochet, you know?
Yeah.
So now it's like, I know a lot of people are like, oh, he's so bad on the mic, but you gotta let the man talk a little bit so he could get warmed up on the mic. And I think him being this obnoxious, cocky, full of himself heel, I think this works for him.
Yeah, I said that he needs that Dominic heat. I said he really needs that. I think it'll work for him. Just make him intolerable and just get it going. We're gonna see him, most likely align himself with the Hurt Syndicate anyway. It's gonna happen one way or another. So
it's gonna happen, yeah, definitely.
But as for this match, nothing really crazy for me. Like I was all right with it.
They took it easy.
Yeah.
I was watching someone else kind of like talk about the show, and they were saying how they can understand why maybe this match was a little more toned down than the first one and the second one, or the third one, I should say, because of what the third match was going to entail between Okada and Ospreay. Yeah, which is fine.
Okada gets the win here, gets into the finals, which, by the way, he already had the title, didn't he? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I wonder, like, if he was temporarily stripped of it during the tournament, because he never carried it.
Yeah, I believe that's exactly. I believe that's what happens.
They reset it.
Yeah. We get Okada to win here. We'll see Ospreay and Okada at the finals towards the end here. Next up, we get Mariah May versus Thunder Rosa for the AEW Women's Championship in a Tijuana street fight. Let's get as cliche as it gets, ladies and gentlemen. Even with the piñata, let's just get it.
Piñata, the thumbtack filled piñata.
They
really did.
Did Dad make an impact in this match?
I mean, he served his purpose, I guess. He was a distraction in between the matches, especially when somebody for Mariah to bully. She took his cane away from him and whatnot. And that was enough of a distraction to get Thunder to, get a little off track in the match. Right?
Yeah. I got that feeling that this is Thunder Rosa's way of trying to get back into the scene again. She's been out for so long, especially with injury wise and such.
Yeah, back-to-back injuries. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's wasn't a bad match. I thought that it was fun. It was fun. It was a fun match. You got what you expected with a match like this.
Yeah.
Mariah May gets the win here. So far, so good. The matches have been not as long as we saw. This one ran for 13 minutes, which is a nice look. We mentioned it earlier. The show was a little bit shorter than usual. They only had fully on the card. Well, no, technically they had 11 matches on the main.
Yeah.
They had. Excuse me.
Different format. To the
they had 8 on the main, three in the 0 hour.
Yeah, 3 in the 0 hour, which was even short. Usually they have like 5 on 0 hour.
Right. Next up, we get MJF versus Adam Cole for the AEW Dynamite Diamond Ring. I'm sorry, but I did not give two F's about this match at all. Didn't care.
This was a tough match for them to pull off because
Yeah.
it ran its course a long time ago, unfortunately, because of injury. You know, the injury and the time in between just made it seem like, all right, we don't, can we just end this already? Like, fine, have this last blow off match and then move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I and even MJF, I'm like, I love him, but it's just at the same time that he's just, he's gotten flat for me. It's not, he's kind of lost his luster for me for a bit.
Yeah. It's the bouncing back and forth between being a face, heel, face, like,
and
if you're going to go back to being a heel, fine, but you need to change it. There's something that needs to change with him. He's just the same old jackass MJF. Something needs to change with him. I'm not sure what it is yet, but he needs a refresh of his whole gimmick.
Yeah, I think the whole Cole, and then honestly, not for nothing, I know this it's a lot of fans have been giving him shit about it, but when you look at comparison to MJF standing next to Adam Cole, it's like, oof, yo, Adam, we got to do something about that.
He never, like, when you see him like in his Ring of Honor days and early NXT days, he was a much bigger guy.
Right.
I mean, not big, because he's going to naturally be a smaller man in the ring no matter with who he's with. But he had more muscle mass on him. He had more definition. Like, what's going on? Like, he looks sickly.
Yeah, I'm hoping that it's not anything like that, because
he's depressed because of the breakup. What's going on?
I don't know. Like, it's either that or at least he's not sitting in front of his video games just loading up on carbs, because and maybe he should, because it's just like
he needs something. He needs to.
I don't want to body shame, but it's part of the job. The body is part of the job.
It is, and it's hard to see him standing next to like a Matt Taven who's got all this height and body on him.
Right.
He looks like it takes away from the believability of him being like the leader of their faction, you know?
Yeah. You get with some dirty and dastardly deeds, we get MJF who gets the win here. When he was ready to put more heat on what I suppose, we get a run in with the guys, and Kyle Fletcher is back with the team.
O'Reilly.
I'm sorry, Kyle O'Reilly is back with the team.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought that there was going to be a turn. I thought that, the Kingdom were going to turn on Adam and join MJF. Because I could kind of see, though, that trio kind of working.
Right.
Yeah,
that would have been interesting.
Yeah, but you know what? It didn't happen. At least not yet.
Yeah,
they gave them the little happy ending for them. Maybe we'll see them go after Death Riders, as since they have the numbers to back them up.
Right. That became interesting later on. We get for the international championship, we get Takeshita versus Powerhouse Hobbs in a match that I did not think I was going to really like, but I did.
That match was, they put on a killer. I was invested in this match.
Yeah.
And I love Takeshita and I like Hobbs, but wow. I don't know. Yeah. For me, them, besides the anything with Ospreay, that could have been the match of the night.
Yeah. These two men did not leave anything in the back. They brought everything to the ring.
And they told the story in the ring.
Yeah. He even had a point where Takeshita hits Hobbs with a powerful move, and Hobbs kicks out at one, and I was like, "Ooh, that was okay."
Yeah, like they were like the two like monsters that just they could not be put down. And that's another match that had a ton of false finishes, and you're like, oh my god. I really thought Hobbs had it at one point. I'm like, they're gonna do this, they're gonna
shout out to M2 Wink, who's a big humongous Hobbs supporter, and he's like, this man needs to get his flowers right now. Let's put a push on him. And after the match, I agree.
He did it. He pulled it out. Like, he showed me a lot more than I've seen in a long time from him.
Right.
It's more to him than just a big guy that can throw people around in the ring.
Yeah. We get Takeshita who gets the win here in a very, very, very good match. I like I said, I was pleasantly surprised that it fell out this way. It was a great match. Next up, we get Mercedes Moné versus Chris Statlander for the AEW TBS Championship. I have to say this. I've been giving her shit for the past few months and such. I think this was Moné's best match in AEW, in my opinion. But for reasons for me is because she made Chris look really fucking good in this match.
Yes, she did. Yeah, I mean, both of their matches, in my opinion, from Full Gear and now this one, like they work really well together.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I think I had said it too last month, where like I felt like when they were doing the build up and the promo work with each other, it didn't mesh well with me.
Mm-hmm.
There was something off, but once they're in the ring, they just tore it down.
Yeah, so I'm in the same I guess I'm in the same boat with a lot of people who believe Mercedes ring work, in contrast to her outside promo look, it's night and day. It's not the same. Like her talking, her just persona is just off-putting.
Yeah,
but you get her in the ring, she'll go.
And I get that it is supposed to be off-putting because she's supposed to be this, you know, full of shit, bougie. She thinks she's better than everybody, but it could be a little too abrasive after a while. Yeah,
it's
like shut up.
Yeah, but it's almost like I don't know. It just seems.
Disingenuous. It's not genuine.
That's right. It sounds like you're trying a little bit too hard. I don't know.
It's too much. It's like, all right, like you could tone it back a little bit, and you'll find that perfect little spot. You know?
Yeah, it's different. It's different when MJF does it. When you be like, oh yeah, you know he's a prick, and then with her, it's just like, coming off a little like a tryhard. Nah, I'm not getting it.
Exactly, like a pick me over here. But but I feel like seeing her in ring work since she came in, it's almost like she was kind of phoning it in the beginning of her tenure in the AEW. Like maybe she thought she was going to have it easier there. I don't know. But now it's like she realizes, damn, these girls are really good. They're probably better than me. I need to step it up if I'm going to be considered a genuine force here.
She needs to get rid of that finisher. That shit got to go.
It's so messy.
It's horrible looking.
It is messy.
And it's too
involved, and
yeah. And this comes from a match that she did everything. She did a tombstone. She did an F5. She did everything.
She really like it. And I appreciate that in the match they showed Mercedes doing everything possible to keep Chris down, because Chris is the bigger woman. She's the stronger woman, and she was doing whatever it took. And no matter what she did, Chris still kept getting in the ring last second before the count out was done. Like she was just pushing her limit until she finally said, I'm going to make this woman tap out.
She screamed to her, why don't you die?
Why don't you die? Yeah, that was great. And then when she got her with a funky little roll up. I like the roll up though. The roll up.
Yeah. I was more surprised that Chris allowed her to tombstone her on the apron like that. I was like, nah, I would not have trusted her with that shit. And how many amigos she did? She did like 6 or 7 of them, right?
7 of them, and the crowd loved it. The crowd, you saw how they were chanting for her after that.
Right.
Like, they're gonna turn her into a face again. To be careful.
But this is what I'm saying. Like her outside work and her inside work has just been like it's not the same, and it doesn't transitioning well.
Yeah. She needs to find a healthy middle with it.
Yeah. We get Mercedes Moné to retain here. I'm hoping that there will be, although she did get 2 wins, I'm hoping that there's a rubber match coming, because I do want to see Statlander get the TBS championship here.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too. Yeah. Like either we'll see that happen, or because she might try to completely reconcile with Willow, because we kind of saw a tease of her trying to reconnect with Willow a couple of weeks ago on Rampage, where they might fully, reconcile, become friends again, and she tell her, you have to be the one to defeat Mercedes because she took the belt from you. Now
Right.
you're the one. You're probably the only one that could take it off of her now, because I failed.
Yeah, we need to see something there because whatever they invested in Monet is not going to be with that TBS title. We got to move it. We got to move it away from her.
Yeah, absolutely.
Next up for the Continental Classic final, we get Okada versus Ospreay. It's not like a match we've never seen before. They already ran it like maybe 10, 20 times over in other places.
In Japan. It was the first time for AEW, so.
Right. And Ospreay came in with an injury because remember we saw Deacon earlier.
He looked insane.
Right.
With all that blood. And then he didn't even clean his face off. So it just, the visual of it in his beard, in his face, his eyes are so blue. And like, he looked almost unhinged at some point.
Right.
Wild.
I think the transition of Okada to the States has taken a lot of shine off of him. I mean, not to take anything away from the match was fine. I just think Okada, what it is now, and now with the Bucks being away a little bit, I see that he's just here and he's gonna be here for a minute, and you're gonna get a toned down Okada, which I guess is fine for what he is until he steps it up. But Ospreay, kind of really once they said he lost him 8 times out of 10 prior to this, I was like, yeah, he's not winning this shit.
Yeah, no, I'm like, this match could have gone either way for me. I would have been fine because but I just felt like they were gonna. I was leaning more towards Okada because I felt like they still have a little more to tell with him being the Continental winner, because especially with the whole, he's won so many tournaments and this could be another win for him. And I figured, yeah, they're gonna rock with that. They're gonna want to say they had Okada win a tournament for them,
right? Yeah, I felt the same way. I didn't really believe that Ospreay needed this right now. I think there's another story that's developing with him.
We saw
he hasn't been the shining star per se face that he was early on when he came into the company. They've kind of like made him a little bit more vulnerable, which I like. So I think there's something there for him. Okada gets the win here, retains, and is the Continental champ once again. And finally, the main event for a 4-way match for the AEW World Championship, we get Moxley versus Orange Cassidy versus Hangman Page and Jay White in what I would consider a fucking shit show.
Yeah, listen, did we expect this to be anything less than a shit show? Like, for me, anytime there's more than 2 people in a match, it's going to be a little chaotic. But now you got 4 guys, and then whoever's hovering around outside. People are like, I expected it to be a shit show. I did not expect this match to be anything less than that. I didn't.
Yeah.
I expected all the overbooked, the overbooking, the people running in. I expected all this. So I'm not like, like other people are. I'm like, it is what it is.
Yeah, but you know what? For me, though, if it's going to be a shit show, let me be captivated by what it's going on. This was like, once the whole Moxley Death Riders element got put to the side and you just left with Hangman, Cassidy, and Jay, I would be like, okay, great, Moxley's idea. Even with them, I was like, I do not care. Like, I really did not.
Honestly, for me, it's Orange Cassidy is the one that kills me. Like, I'm not a fan of his. I appreciate what he does. I'm not saying he's bad. He's good. It's just, for me, he does not fit in as a world champion potential contender. Like, he's mid-card at best. He looks like a little kid in the ring with guys like Moxley and Hangman,
you say that, and come 2025, who's gonna win the title?
He or Darby, and I don't want to see either one of them with the belt.
It's gonna be the you deserve it fucking chance. I'm telling you, it's going to be.
I'm like, man, look, can we see Hangman have that belt again? Like, I feel like the way he lost it before was just, it was so disappointing to who he lost it to, and how that turned out. Like, I feel like he needs a do-over, and for me, he's been a major MVP in WWE, AEW lately, with his whole transformation. and he needs to be rewarded with something.
Well, when he came back, because after he won the title, and then he was just in limbo with the title. It was like, how you the champ and everybody doesn't really give a shit. Like, you're the champ after you got it. And he came back, had his feud with Swerve and such. It elevated him. It made him, especially after that look of him in front of a burning house. It made him look great. But when he came here, now it's just as though, like, the guy who I would think would be the Moxley guy, which is Hangman, is not.
Yeah.
He's
right.
taken off.
Right. I've seen people saying that too, how they were like, we kind of wish it was actually Hangman doing this and not Moxley.
Right.
No offense to Moxley. It's just with the way Hangman's evolved throughout the last few months, you would think he'd be the one that would snap and be like, yo, fuck AEW. I'm gonna ruin AEW, you know.
I think I'm gonna be. People might not agree with me with this, but I really believe that last few months of Dean Ambrose in WWE, when he was doing the whole, I could smell you guys in there, I need to get an injection, I have to make sure that.
Yeah,
I'm kind of getting that same kind of vibe with him here. Like, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Mox, and I've always loved Mox, but it's just like. I'm not getting it with him anymore.
I feel like this jumped the shark really fast.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, yeah. It kind of ran its course really fast. Although, I did, and I feel like maybe this was a little too late when he took over at the end of Rampage. And we know Rampage is going to be gone for whatever, for forever, for whatever time it may be gone or whatever. But, like, the fact that he took over the end of the show. And then actually they destroyed the lights in the show. They went to the backstage and said, shut it down. Like, that should have been done months ago when this first started. You know, not now. Just to say, oh, we're ending the show.
No more Rampage. Bye, guys.
Right.
But I would say that even the one spot that I can say I laughed at was Shafir took a shot here as well. I was like, okay.
Listen, she could take it. She's probably tougher than any of those other men there. So
I was like, hey, I said, hell, I'm glad that they leaned to it and gave her one.
They shouldn't be afraid.
Just shit show all around. Moxley gets the win here. But that wasn't the end. No, because we can't. Oh, as a matter of fact, sorry, I even forgot to mention we had other return, especially after the Okada match. We had a return of Omega, who, as an EVP,
back as the EVP, right?
Okay.
But I think I remember that was always the case where Daniels, Christopher Daniels took over his role while he was out.
Yeah,
like he was an interim EVP. Right. So now, like you said, stepping down because look who's back.
Yeah,
he looks great.
Yeah, he looks awesome, and I really believe that he doesn't have much time left, and I think he knows it, and I think he's gonna line up the best that he can get right now.
Yeah, like Danielson did.
Yeah, before he goes up, he looked good.
He looked good. He has such an aura to him, right? Like when he walks out, it was like a glow about him. And the crowd was just they ate him up when he came out. It was beautiful to watch. And he looks healthy, which is great. Mm-hmm. And obviously this is going to set up an Okada Kenny rematch.
One more time.
Exactly.
One more time.
Yeah. They should have started punching each other. I'm like, why now? Why? No, not yet.
No touch. We don't need the touching yet. Speaking of returns, we had a return of FTR, and they came back sooner than expected. And same could be said for the Cope. Adam Copeland is back as well.
He was working those abs the whole time he was out.
But you know what's killing me with him, though, is that I look at his face and I go, Papa, tu estás viejo, you're getting old.
He always had that very angular, skeletal face. And now that he's older, it's like right here. But he looks fantastic. For me, I'm always gonna love him. So As a female wrestling fan, I just
He gets the pass.
He gets a total pass. To me, he's aging like fine wine.
Yeah, he his return came off the heels of a Moxley win. Moxley and the guys were ready to put in some more work, but then they FTR, the rated FTR is what they're going to be calling themselves now. They're going to be the one.
I gotta get the shirt.
The logo.
Yeah, I like it.
They're going to be now going against the Death Riders. Are we going to see like this? Are the Death Riders going to be? Is this going to be like the new NWO or some shit? Is this what they're looking at?
I feel like you're going to have all these different challengers try to take them down little by little. I just hope that when they do that, if they go that direction, they get chipped away at little by little, so that they're not consistently being the powerhouse group and nobody could beat them. Like, we got to see some losses from them. We have to, even if it's just Wheeler Yuta taking a few losses.
Oh, please.
Jeez, we got to see something. And then, what I kind of like how they tied it in with Christian hovering right in the seats, and he saw his old buddy come back, and he was like, "Shit! Now he's gonna get in the middle of the way of my plan of trying to cash in this contract." Right?
And even the teaser with Hook was there too, and Hook gave a little look like,
"I got you."
You think he's gonna be the one that does it?
Yeah.
So, it was good to see that have that return. Got to see the boys are back. 2025 is gonna be interesting. Dynamite has their New Year's show kicking off, and it's gonna be interesting to see how they lead off the new year following this pay-per-view. Your quick thoughts about how the pay-per-view was?
I'm sorry?
I said your thoughts on how the pay-per-view was?
I thought it was a great pay-per-view. It was again not their best of the year, but it was much better than Full Gear.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it from start to finish. It kept me entertained the whole time. I was excited to see the returns that had me popping. And I'm looking forward to seeing how they lead out 2024 with this pay-per-view, with these returns back here, a couple of changes within their, some of the factions here and there. Like, I want to see where they go with this now. So I think this was a great finish for them for 2024. Because 2024 has been, it's been up and down, for them. So this was a nice strong finish for them.
If they continue with the pay-per-view of how if they run their shows like this, every match seems to run about 18, 19 minutes long, which is a nice, comfortable run time. So that's good. You got a lot crammed in a match and didn't seem it ran too long. It ran fine. I thought it was a very good show for them to close out this year, and I could be optimistic about what they're going to do later on down the line. But like I said, now I have to look at AEW not for anything but just the matches. I can't look at for anything else.
Yeah, the storylines are always they're secondary in their product. It's secondary. The matches is where they stand out.
But once again, my dear, thank you for stopping in and let everybody know where they can get you and what's upcoming for you guys on New York Wrestling Media.
Yeah, so you could find us at History and Headlocks with Adi and Mike on YouTube. You can look for us there. I don't remember off the top of my head what our next topic will be. I need to catch up with Mike on that because it's been a little hectic the last week or so with the holidays and everything else going on. But we are anticipating, though, with the new year, we're going to bring in some, fresh ideas. So one of the things that we're trying to wrap up is where we're going to start focusing on wrestlers and their entire career from start to finish or start to current. We do have a little voting system going on right now so that you guys could choose who is the first wrestler that we're going to discuss. You can find it, I believe, Mike set it up on the Facebook for Turnbuckle Tab, and there's something going on also on IG. I'm going to see if we can refresh it and repost it so that people can find it again. And and then you can find me on IG at Arianna Not the Grande, as you can see on the screen if you're watching. And that's it.
Thank you, my dear, and Happy New Year, dear.
Happy New Year to you too.
And for everybody on Turnbuckle Tabloid, make sure you like and subscribe, be a part of the vibe of all things connected on all podcasting outlets, as well as on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. And make sure you check out New York Wrestle Media for content just like New York Wrestle Media, Call It a Pinfall. Just started restarted my video game series. Press save with Santi. Got that up and running. Should I invested money in the freaking system? I might as well start playing my game.
Absolutely.
And got much more content, guys, for 2025. So make sure you follow us and be a part of that as well. And as always, check you guys in a sec.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff.
Turnbuckle Tabloid.